Yo, everybody can hear me all right? Dog, diggity dog. Richard, thank you. Thanks for this morning, for the coffee. Appreciate it. When I say insurance is mandatory, I don't mean legally. I mean just because of the things that I went through this last time. You know, I wouldn't have thought that. Actually, what I want to say is you should have insurance, definitely, and you definitely shouldn't be underinsured. You should insure yourself as much as you can afford. Hey, Fidelity, how's it going with you, man? I'm getting stronger. I'm feeling better every day. Yesterday was the first day where I thought, wow, I actually feel good again. You know, I feel decent. I feel pretty good. You know, when I got out of the hospital, the last times after the surgeries that I've had, I just felt like, fuck, I don't want to do anything. I'm not traveling anymore. I'm not going anywhere. I'm just chilling in Thailand. I'm not doing a thing. And, you know, a couple of days goes by, I start feeling better, and then I'm like, all right, well, I got things I want to do. But it's pretty clear I got to stay healthy. And I don't really have a lot of control over my bile duct aside from what I eat, which, you know, I do have control over that, but, you know, other than that, I mean, I can eat as much as, I can eat as healthy as can be, and the bile duct can still go bad, so, you know, I'm just kind of crossing my fingers. I want to say thank you. Hey, Steve. I want to say thank you to all the people who, again, for the third time, sent me their get well wishes and, you know, fuck off wishes. I did get a couple of those. You know, I hope you die. And all the, you know, all the purchases that people made and the donations and everything else. I really appreciate it because, you know, it helps me keep going. And I will say this, the first two procedures were covered by my insurance company. The last one, they covered almost 7,500 baht, which that's it, out of almost 210,000. So I had to come up with the rest of that, and it wasn't easy. It basically depleted a lot of my savings. As far as the stent goes, I was going to save this for later, but I'll show you guys something. I know Longhorns is probably laying in bed right now. Let me see here. Where's it at? You know what? I should just put another one in here. Another image. Image 2. All right, let me find this thing. Desktop. I'm going to show you the stent, if I can find it. Hospital. Yep, there we go. Lovely. Let's see here. Now, this stent was put in my bile duct. Hey, what's crack-a-lackin'? This stent was inserted in my bile duct the second surgery. And it was supposed to stay in for 3 to 4 months, even 6 months, depending on what the doctor saw, what he thought. But after 2 weeks, it fell out. Hey, Tim, how you doing? Thanks for everything, Tim. I appreciate it. That was supposed to stay in for at least 3 months. And after 2 weeks, I started feeling that pain again, and I know the pain now. I know exactly where it hurts. I know the type of burp that I have because gas builds up because the bile is not assisting in the intestine to process the food, digest the food. So they put that stent in, and basically it's hollow. And so it goes right into it basically acts as another bile duct. It's like a straw inside of a straw. Unfortunately, it fell out, which I still don't completely understand, but they said, well, your infection went away, the inflammation went away, and thus the stent fell out. So that's the stent right there. Now, I'm assuming, you see how it's looped here on the end? I'm assuming this was looped also. However, what happened was, when I finally had the third surgery, I went back into my room to recuperate, and I think it was the next day, I was like, man, why is my asshole hurt? Why is the bunghole hurting? And, I thought, I didn't think, like anybody did something they shouldn't have, like took advantage of me when I was asleep, but it just hurt. And so I decided to go on into the restroom and see exactly what was going on. And so I reached back. Forgot to do that. I reached back, and I was going to just touch myself, and I felt, I don't know which end, but I felt that thing starting to come out of my ass. So I pulled it out, and it didn't feel very good pulling that thing out of my ass, but I pulled it out and washed it off, and I was like, ugh. And then I had questions. Well, why can't this thing expand? I had all kinds of questions. But apparently it's normal. The stent, they're not going to pull the stent back out unless they do surgery, which was what I was going to have done in 3 to 6 months. That was the plan. They put the stent in, everything gets better, and then they were going to go in, and I was going to have to pay again, and my insurance probably wasn't going to cover it. And I was going to have to go in, and then they were going to remove the stent. But it didn't work out that way, and actually it worked out for the best, which is hard for me to acknowledge. But it worked out for the best because it came out on its own. And then when they did the third surgery, I thought, oh, well, they're going to do another stent. But the doctor was saying to me right before I went under, he's talking to me, and I'm not really concentrating 100%, but I thought he said, if everything looks okay, I'm just going to go in with the endoscope and expand the bile duct. And so he did a procedure called the sphincterotomy. It's a real procedure, and it doesn't have anything to do with your asshole. It's basically at the bottom of the bile duct. It connects to, I guess, the duodenum, your small intestine, I guess. And so it's real. It's very real, and I was going to keep it, but it did have a little funk going on there. I showed the nurse, and I was like holding it by the paper towel, and I held it up, and I went, whoa! Even though I washed it off and used soap and everything, it still was funky. And I was like, hey, just look at the photo on my phone. That's good enough. You don't have to look at it. But it was just like, it seemed like it was a little cheap piece of plastic. So when they went back in this time, they did this thing called the sphincterotomy, and what that is at the bottom of the bile duct, it connects to the small intestine, and they expanded that and expanded the bile duct a little bit, so there was more room for the bile and the stones to go down into my intestine. And the doctor said to me, hopefully this will be the last time. But in a few years, you might have to have it done again. And I'm like, fuck me, man. So, needless to say, I'm not very happy with my insurance, and that's why I wanted to talk about it. You know, I've had insurance for years. Shit. Hopefully this is still working okay. I'm not on the, you know, I'm not wired right now. I'm on the Wi-Fi. So what I was going to say, you know, I've been insured for a long time, but everything that I've needed was either outpatient and I just paid for it, or it was inpatient and it was just relatively small and it was taken care of. However, this time what happened was the first procedure was to remove my gallbladder because of this thing called Merizzi syndrome, which the duct is compressed. The duct from the gallbladder was compressed by the stones. I know a lot more about this shit than I ever thought I would, but the duct was compressed by the stones, and they had to, you know, cut part of it and remove the gallbladder. And like I said before, it was inflamed, infected, gangrene was setting in. It was pretty bad. So that got done. I think I'm okay. The insurance covers it. I think it was 330,000 baht altogether, and of that, I had to cover 50 grand. 50,000 baht. It was about 1,500 bucks, $1,550, something like that. 1,600, whatever. So then when I got sick the second time, I went in and they said, well, your maximum is 500,000 baht per incident. Per, what is it, per surgery or whatever, not surgery, but per incident. So I said, well, you know, the gallbladder is not the bile duct. They're two separate things. And the doctor concurred. The doctor got a bunch of doctors to back me up. We sent everything into the insurance company, and they still said, no, sorry, but it's the same system. And, I mean, I do understand, but, like, that was my first claim. I would have thought maybe they'd have a little bit of leniency, but not an insurance company. And certainly not this one, because I called up and I said, well, who do I dispute? Do you have a claims department that I can dispute this with? No, sorry. We go by the law of Thailand, so that's the way it goes. And I was like, no, that's not acceptable, because your doctors work for you. I've talked about this before. Your doctors work for you. My doctor doesn't work for me. But that's not how they view it. So they said, well, these two are connected. So I think the total bill was 290, or I think it was 300,000 baht. I still had to pay about 50,000 baht, like, you know, 1,500 bucks, whatever it was, almost 1,600 bucks. Plus, I had to go into the follow-ups, and my insurance didn't cover the follow-ups. And the follow-ups, every time you get your blood checked, it's 150 bucks for me, because they do the CBC and the liver function test. And at this particular hospital, it's with the doctor's visit and everything. You're talking, it's almost $150. It's about 140, 145 bucks. So I had to pay that too, twice. So that's 300 plus 3,000. That's $3,300, and the insurance paid almost 20,000. So it's not really all that bad, right? But then this last time that I went in, the insurance company said to me, well, you're already at your 500,000 limit, because we viewed both incidents as one and the same. So we're not going to give you another 500,000 baht, which is what I thought they would do. I said, why don't you use the first one, that's a gallbladder, and then the next two are the bile duct, and those can be combined, and then, you know, whatever you cover, and whatever I have to cover, then I have to cover. No, sorry. So this caused a lot of problems, because first I had to come up with the money, and second, because, you know, I'm pissed off that the doctors are saying one thing. The doctors are saying this should be covered. They should cover it. But, you know, the doctors are out, I would hope at least, the doctors are always out for my best interest, not necessarily for the insurance company. The insurance company was out for themselves. I tried everything I could, and they just said, no, 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 no. So basically I resolved myself to having to pay. And so when I went into the hospital, they said, you need to put a deposit down, 25,000 baht. I had the money. I paid the 25,000. They said, after the first day, after the first day, because of all the tests and the CAT scan and everything, it was 46,000 baht. So that's almost 50. It's like 1,400 bucks. Now I had already paid about, well, like I said, 25,000 baht. So it was almost half that I paid. They send me into the room the next day, and they say, okay, your surgery is going to be at 8 o'clock tonight. Between 8 and 9. We're not sure yet. I said, okay. Now, I wasn't in as much pain as the last time because immediately when I felt some pain, and this particular pain, I said, I got to go in. And so that's what I did. I went in right away. And so it wasn't as painful. Here's a nice shot. Shit, I don't know how I'm going to do this. Let me fix this real quick here. And so, you know, I spent the morning there thinking, okay, tonight I'm going to have the surgery. And, you know, I just sat there basically, and they loaded me up with pain meds. They gave me morphine and some fentanyl because I was starting to feel a lot of pain. Darn it. And let me see if I can do this here. So I sat there basically all day waiting for my surgery. And then at 8, what was it? Let me rotate this here. Let me see if I can do this. I don't even know if this is going to work. I don't know what the problem is. Jaundice was setting in. God damn it. Not as bad as the last time, but it was setting in, and the pain was starting to get pretty severe, to where I got to the point where, just like the second surgery, where the pain medicine, even fentanyl, didn't do anything. So I'm like, this sucks. When am I going to have my surgery? My eyes are getting yellow. Okay. And I'm just waiting. And I'm like, okay, listen, they got me on the morphine, they got me on the fentanyl. You know, I don't feel good by any means. I felt like shit. And I was in pain, but, you know, it was tolerable because of the, you know, I mean, it really didn't help that much, but it just took the edge off. And I was like, you know what, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock tonight, all I got to do is make it till then, and I'll be okay. And so 8 o'clock comes, 9 o'clock comes. Lori, what's up? 8 o'clock comes, 9 o'clock comes, 9:30 comes, and I'm like, shit. Is the doctor, a Sky Trooper, is the doctor late again? Because the second surgery, the doctor was late. He got caught in traffic. He was like 20 minutes late. I'm thinking, okay, the guy's probably late. You know, traffic. It's getting bad on Lod Prow. And, you know, there was only 2 lanes. I'm like, he'll be here. So I tell the nurse, you know, now Longhorns, Mr. Billy, is with me. And we're like going, what the fuck's going on? So I asked one of the nurses, I said, listen, when is my surgery going to happen? When are they going to do it? Surgery? You're supposed to have surgery? And I was like, yes. So another half hour goes by. You know, oh, let me check. It's 10 o'clock. I'm like, this sucks, you know. I'm in pain. I'm thinking, I'm focused on, I have to reach, you know, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Wow. $2,600? Jesus Christ, man. I feel for you. Thanks, though. I feel for you, man. $2,600. Jesus Christ. I mean, yeah, I don't want to sound like I'm bitching here, but, you know, like, after you live here for a while, whatever you got to pay, you still got to pay. So, you know, I'm glad I don't have to pay I didn't have to pay $2,600, at least all it, well, I did, actually. But, I mean, at least the first 2 times I didn't have to pay that nearly as much as I would have if I didn't have insurance. So I'm waiting and waiting. They come in and they said, oh, admissions wants to talk to you. I said, okay, all right, well, I'll talk to him, you know. And they're telling me, oh, well, you know, you need to put a deposit down. And I said, well, why the fuck didn't you come to me during the daytime and tell me then? I said, you know, then that way I could have, you know, made a transfer, or I could have done something. Oh, let me see. Now, to their credit, the nurses and the doctors, like I've said the last couple times, very, very helpful. But the admin, I think what it was is, you know, like, one person is told to do something, then another person is told to do something else, and they don't really know what's going on with each other. They're not communicating. Or, I don't know, maybe it's just their system or whatever it is. You got to be careful here, because I don't think anything was intentional or anything like that. But by the time I got it straightened out with them, I said, listen, you told me I'm going to do the surgery between 8 and 9 o'clock. Where is the doctor? What's going on? Oh, the doctor went home. And one guy's saying that the doctor wasn't available, and then the admin saying that the doctor went home. They canceled the insurance because I didn't make a payment. I said, how would I make another payment if you didn't come in here and say, this is how much we need? Nobody came in and said that. I'm like, son of a bitch. So I wasted a whole day sitting there and basically paid for that whole day. Okay? Now, if my insurance was covering it, I would have been like, you know, c'est la vie. But they weren't. So the next day comes. And again, I stay there, you know, all day, laying in bed. I'm not really capable of moving around a whole lot. You know, it's like I'm weak, I'm shaking. You know, the jaundice is getting pretty bad. When they did have it, I think they took me for a test or two, and they took me in a wheelchair. And I was damn glad to have that wheelchair at that point. So they come to me around 4 o'clock. Now, everything happens in the evening, and I don't know exactly what the reason is for it. No, it wasn't Ramkhamhaeng Hospital. It was Waitani Hospital. They come in the afternoon. Now, I don't know if this is because they're closing all their cases for the day, or they're busy, or I don't know what the hell the deal is. Okay? But they come maybe 4 or 5 o'clock. They're all talking to me about, okay, you can have the surgery tonight, but what we need is 109,000 baht. I said, okay, let me see what I can do. I said, I know I can give you 25 grand, which will be 50, but I need to see exactly how much I can come up with, you know, within the next hour or two. I said, give me a little bit of time. I'll get back to you shortly. But I definitely want the surgery. In a worst case scenario, I'll have the money to you tomorrow. And I've been here many times, and every time that I've said to you, the money will be here tomorrow, or I'll charge it on this different card tomorrow because I had to make a payment or whatever. Every time I've done it. I haven't had any problems. I haven't like went months on end and not paid them, not even days on end. So they're like, okay. So at 6 o'clock, or 6:15, I think, I say, hey, and in fact, it was Mr. Billy. He ran outside and told the doctor. He told the doctor, "Hey, we have the 109,000 baht. We want the surgery to go ahead." So a short time later, a girl comes in. Now, I had talked to this girl before, and she was under the impression that, you know, like, the first day was basically their mistake. They made a mistake by not communicating with me. But that was between her and I. And so she came back again and she goes, "Oh no, it's not 109,000 baht, it's 190,000 baht." And I thought to myself, did I hear wrong? And Billy says to me, "No, the one lady said 109,000 baht." I said, "Listen, you need to take the 109,000 baht." I said, you know, thank you, Lori. I said, you need to take, you know, what I've got and what you said you were going to accept and do the surgery. Okay. I got to go back and talk to my boss. Now, every time they have to go talk to the boss, most of the time, you know, either because the boss is on the other side of the hospital, the boss is busy, or whatever it is, it always takes quite some time. So, let me see something here. So anyway, so I'm waiting. You know, Billy and I are waiting. I'm starting to get in a lot of pain now. I'm really starting to feel pain. In the meantime, I talked to the doctor and I said, you know, what's the problem? Just let me get this taken care of. And I said, you know, I just want to know something. Can I die from this? He goes, well, yeah, you can. He goes, but, you know, you got a week to get this done. About a week. And I'm like, okay. I want it done tonight. It takes a while. Finally, a woman comes back and she goes, okay, I'll take it. I said, and I was going to pay on my Siam commercial debit card. And she says, nah, you know, I got this other machine. I guess she couldn't take it because it was a Kasi corn machine or something. I don't know. They leave. In the meantime, I'm like going, what the fuck? I'm like, I got the money. I want to pay this so that I know I'm getting my surgery. So somebody comes back and they said, oh, I'm really sorry, but the doctor is already gone. And I was like, what? The doctor's gone? I told you I want to have the surgery. You know, and then I started getting pissed because I thought to myself, this is 2 full days that I got to pay for. And it doesn't seem right because they could have done the surgery on Monday, and well, you know, it's like really hospitals. They're dealing with a lot of people. I've talked to this with a lot of people and tried to look at it from both sides. And hospitals have a lot of stuff going on. Yes, they need to get their shit together, but sometimes things like this happen. And I was like, hey man, you know what? First of all, I don't think I should even be here because the stent, the doctor should have planned for that stent to maybe move because of my bile duct opening. Don't you think that maybe the surgeon knows it's going to open and that he should plan for that? Maybe use a bigger stent, or I don't know what you can do because I'm not a doctor. They said, we did everything we could, blah, blah, blah. I said, yeah, okay. Well, I really would like some further explanation. In the meantime, I find out that there is a metal stent that is expandable, and it expands and it contracts with the bile duct with the size of the bile duct. What I didn't know is that is a permanent stent, and that if it comes out, it can perforate your bowel. There's a lot of problems with infection and that kind of thing. So it really wasn't an option. But in the meantime, I'm getting pissed because I'm like, when am I going to get my surgery? I'm like, God damn it, I'm in pain. And you guys, you're prolonging this. And so finally, the next day, they came in and they said, we'll do the surgery tonight. I said, take my card. Please, take my card. So I gave him my card. I put the deposit down. And, you know, now I'm starting to worry about, like, well, shit, how much is it going to cost by the time I get out of here? Because, you know, well, here's another thing. They gave me this antibiotic. Now, I don't know. The doctor said that that was the best antibiotic, that this antibiotic was the most appropriate antibiotic. And, you know, the doctors don't always think, well, how much is this going to cost? They're not thinking that. They're thinking, what's going to fix the guy? It turns out that this antibiotic was $150 a pop. Okay? So I ended up, it was either $600 or $750 that was just on this one antibiotic. And I was like, man, couldn't you have used a generic? Couldn't you have used something else? No, there isn't any. I'm like, well, that sucks. You know, but I'm thinking to myself, I need to get better. I can't be bitching about this right now. And to be completely honest, I've only now started to really recuperate and rest. When I was in the hospital, it was between the pain and the, you know, the worrying about, am I going to be okay? And having to deal with the hospital, I didn't get really any rest. And I was pissed. I mean, I was like getting to the point where I'm like, God damn it. You know, like, give me something to go to sleep for like 10 hours. Leave me the fuck alone. It was just like I said, the first time or the second surgery, right before my surgery, the insurance lady came in to talk to me, and I'm like, get the fuck out of here. I don't want to talk to you right now. This is not a good time. They're getting ready to cut me open. They're going to wheel me in there in like 5 minutes, and you're fucking over here. You want to talk about money. Fuck off. And I ran her out of the I ran out of the room, but my wife was kind of pissed. You know, Shitty Billy didn't say anything. He just, I know he had a little smirk there because, you know, he knew I was going to do that because I was in such a way. But finally the hospital gave me the surgery that night. They charged my card. They, well, I was kind of thinking the same thing, and I said, listen, finally a lady came in, a young woman came in, and she said, well, I am the care coordinator. I said, well, you know, I could have used you because really what I needed was one person to talk to, not 100 people. I didn't need to talk to the doctors and the nurses and this admin person and this financial person and this insurance person. I just want to talk to one person. Isn't that possible? And she said, well, now it is, but I've been out. I said, okay. She's very nice, very helpful. And so, you know, basically they just let me be. And I was like, wow, nobody's bugging me. The only thing they're doing is replacing the IV, replacing the antibiotic, and giving me pain medicine. Of course, they're starting to wean me off of the pain medicine. They're starting to say, oh, you know, we don't want to give it to you that much. And I'm like, listen, if I say I'm in fucking pain, please give it to me. Don't fuck around. And don't give me some other bullshit because I don't want to pay for it. I don't want to pay for fucking Tramol because it doesn't work. I'm like, you know, how many times have I been here in the last fucking 6 weeks? You know, I understand what works with my body. So, you know, they gave me more medicine, and I was okay until the next day. And then finally I just went, you know what? Fuck it. I don't feel that much pain anymore. I don't want any more pain. I told them, don't give me any more pain medicine. I don't need it. Okay, end of story. Now, because of the 2 days that, I mean, I was complaining. I was like, hey, the first 2 days, why was I here? I mean, I could have been sitting at home, and you didn't do anything. So I was kind of pissed. You know, and then I had a lot of questions about why did they do this? Why did they do that? Couldn't they have, what kind of a stent is this? Is this a quality stent? Could they use an expandable one? Blah, blah, blah. And, yeah, but I didn't want to because I didn't have the energy. And, like, I don't have all that much energy right now. I'm good. Now I'm good for a couple of hours. But then I was good for like 15 minutes. I would yell at him for 5-10 minutes, and I'd be like, And I just, you know. And so I guess they were really concerned. Because I was like, at this point, I was like, this is bullshit. You know, and I didn't feel good. So I'm like, I'm really sorry if, I'm being an asshole. But the bottom line is that I don't think that what you guys have done is right, and I have questions about the surgery and what's to stop this from. My biggest concern is that, like, tomorrow I have to go back in, and my insurance isn't going to cover it. And this time I'm not going to have the money. I'm not going to have money to cover it. So what happens if they didn't do a procedure right, or if something happens? And, the problem is that it's a human body. Anything can happen. A lot of things can happen, whether they do everything right or not. So they scheduled, they told me, okay, well, you're going to have to talk to this one lady. And I said, yeah, okay. When is she coming? Between 11 and 12 o'clock. I said, please, don't come at 5 o'clock in the afternoon because I don't want to deal with this bullshit. What happens is the later in the day, the more tired I am. I think the more tired they are. And I just don't feel like dealing with it. I'd rather deal with it first thing in the morning, get it over with. I have energy, and then it's a done deal. So around 11:30, 12 o'clock, somebody comes in. The care coordinator comes in, and she says, a nurse came in, and she said, she was the head nurse, the head of the department, that whole department. She said, there's some people that would like to talk to you. They're in another room here. Let me help you in. And at that point, I could walk, but I was really weak. So, they have to make sure that I don't fall and break my ass. And they brought me in, and there was a room full of about a dozen people. The medical director, there was a professor, there was a bunch of doctors, there was finance people, there was all kinds of people. And I just explained, hey, the first 2 days, I mean, like, I could have paid you. You already know that, you see that the last time I said you let me out a day early and the money was coming the next day, I set it up and I paid you I paid you when I said I was going to pay you. And this time I already would have been able to give you 50,000 right on the spot out of 109,000 baht. I'm like, I told you I'll get the rest of the money. I want the surgery. And then nobody even came back to me and talked to me. Whether it was just a mistake, they overlooked it, whatever the hell it was. But, I'm paying for it. And I don't like that. And then I went over the procedure and what they did and what to expect and all these other kind of things. And I didn't really have a problem with the doctors and what they did and the surgeon and what they did. Didn't have any problem at all. The only problem was that I didn't feel the communication was appropriate considering that I needed the surgery. I wasn't going to die right away or anything, but I just thought, hey, I wouldn't have been here 2 full days sitting here waiting if you had just said, this is how much we need. Then, what happened? Ooh. Don't know what happened. So the first day basically was just I don't know. They just didn't tell me they didn't give me a figure. They didn't tell me what I needed to do, and I was under the impression the surgery was going to happen. The second day, they give me a number, and then somebody else comes in and gives me a different number, which I couldn't pay. I didn't have 190,000 at the moment. At that time, I didn't have 190,000 baht to pay. And then I said, what about 150? Maybe I can come up with that. No, you need 170. I said, well, why did the lady tell me 109,000? And I think it was just, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. I think it was just a miscommunication. But I didn't like that because it was 2 days where I sat there and I could have been taken care of and I could have been home. So, I sat in front of the people, did my thing, and Longhorns had planned on being there, but I guess his laundry wasn't dry, so he got there like 30 minutes after I was finished. But, I think, I just basically sat down and talked to him. I wasn't angry. I wasn't yelling and screaming or anything like that. I just talked to him. And it was good that there was a professor there. He spoke perfect English. Very nice guy, you know, and he was just trying to look at both sides. And I could see that when I said to him, I was waiting for the number for a deposit, or I thought I'm just going into surgery. But nobody came to me. He went, like, he knew that wasn't good. And, you know, so the hospital, they actually, at the end, it was time for me to leave, and I was like, wow, I get to leave. Okay, am I okay now? They did a blood test. Everything was trending downwards, which meant that my jaundice was going away. And can everybody hear me? I don't know if this internet is working real well right now. I think it is, but let me see here. How come I can't? Look at this. Man, it looks like it's working. Okay, good. Now it just all of a sudden just popped. Good. It's fine. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. So on the last day, you know, they gave me solid food and everything, and after I ate, how do you feel? Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, have you went to the bathroom today? Yes. You know, how many times? They asked me all the standard questions. They did my test. Everything was trending downwards. My cholesterol was like perfect, and I was like, wow, awesome. I can't remember the last 5 minutes, Stephen. I don't have the energy anyway. So, to their credit, you know, what they did was they said to me, listen, we'll give you a discount. I said, okay, how much? Now, the procedure, the ERCP was 210,000 baht, which is like $6,500. They said to me, we'll give you this for 190. We'll knock off 20,000 baht. I said, it's not enough. It wasn't enough in my book. And then they said, we'll give you 20% discount on the room, medicine, x-ray, and laboratory. I said, it's not enough. Because I started figuring it out, and I just thought, this is not going to amount to that much, because they already give me a 10% discount automatically. Because I have a VIP card, and I've been going there for a while, so they give me a 10% discount. So they already give me 10%. They're just giving me 10% discount. And then one of the girls said to me, oh, the 190,000 baht price is the package price. I said, well, why don't you give me the package price in the first place? Because I've been here 3 times now. You know I'm paying this on my own unless my insurance decides to come through, which I was waiting for. So I'm stressed out about that because I'm thinking, shit, you know. I want my insurance company to pay for it. But I was still lucky that I had it the first 2 times because it would have really, really hurt if I had to go in 3 times and come up with, you know, $11,000, $10,000 every time. You know, it would have been $30-something thousand I had to come up with, and I didn't have that, and I don't have it. So, finally, you know, I'm like, hey, listen, please don't don't discharge me at like 9 or 10 o'clock at night like you usually do. I don't want that. You know, I'm like, I want to get out of here. You know, the doctor said at like 12 o'clock, I'm going to get out of here. Let me get out of here at 4 or 5 o'clock, you know. So at like 6, they come in. Well, you got to know something, and I'm not singling out Waitani Hospital, but they have prices for Thais, they have prices for foreigners, and they have prices for Middle Easterners. Now, what price you get is up to you and your negotiation skills. But many hospitals are like that. They have different tiers of pricing for whatever reason it is. Now, as far as was it tempting for me to fly back, believe me, I thought about that. I thought to myself, listen, it'll cost me a G, maybe, you know, 1,400 bucks to fly back. I go in, I get taken care of, boom, I'm out of there, I spend a little time at home, everything's copacetic. I say to the doctor, what's the deal with me flying? He goes, no. He goes, if you fly, that will be a big mistake. Because first of all, he said, you need ambulatory care. You need to be on the antibiotics, which is an IV solution. You need to be on an IV. You need to have a nurse with you. You need to be on the pain meds. And you have a lot of gas in your stomach from the bile, from the backup, from your stomach not being able to digest everything. And what happens is you build up gas. And that's why you burp if you have, or I burped. Maybe some people fart, I don't know, but I didn't really fart. There was no farting. Like I just said, it's burping. And it wasn't all that much, but I could feel the gas, and that's what causes the pain. He said, if you go up in a plane, he goes, your stomach might blow up. Your abdomen might explode. I'm like, well, that's enough to stop me. I'm not going to fly. And I actually started thinking about going to the place that did my hip surgery and having them do it. And then they said, we're sorry, but we don't do that procedure here. You're going to have to call another hospital, and they only do it once a week. And that was like, I think it was a Sunday that I called them, and they didn't do it until Thursday, and there was no guarantee they were going to be able to do it. So I said, okay, I guess I'm stuck here. So I told them, hey, listen, I need to know what the discount you're giving me. So they came back, and all they did was they give me the total price. And I'm like, no, I want to know what the discount is. I want to see the percentage. I want to see where is the discount, where is it being discounted? Because I know how much the surgery was. You told me how much the surgery was. You gave me a summary. I want to know, what's the summary now? Did you knock it down to $150,000? What's the deal? I just want to know. That's all. And, again, they may just do it their way, and they may find that acceptable for most people, but it wasn't acceptable for me. So the girl goes out. I said, listen, how much percent, what's the percent you gave me? 15%. I said, you gave me 15%. The last time you're going to give me 20. I said, you need to give me more. So it's like, I'm like, oh, shit, man. So, another half hour goes by, and the lady comes back, and she shows me the price and everything. And I said, what's the discount? Let me see this here. Because the discount is not, they don't discount everything. It's not like they just say, okay, your price is $300,000, now we're discounting 25%. You owe $225,000. That's not what they do. They discount from the room, from the laboratory, from the medicine, and from the x-rays. Or like CAT scan and MRIs. That's what they discount. So I said, what's the discount? So I looked at it, and the price looked good. I was like, wow, that's fair. She said 25%. I said, okay. So basically the price went from, it was anywhere, I couldn't really tell, but it's about I'd say 315 to 330. And they discounted it to 209,000 baht, which is a hell of a discount and very, very fair, in my opinion, all things considering. It would have been nice if they just wiped the whole thing off and said, you don't have to pay anything. But realistically, that wasn't going to happen. So, what are you going to do? Let me see something here. So, all in all, I mean, I'm happy that I still feel good now, and I just want to continue feeling good. I don't want to go back. And hopefully I don't have to. But it also means I really need to before I was watching my health and I kind of went, all right, I can do things in moderation. And, I was eating the ice cream because it made me feel better. But now I really need to watch my health even closer than before. So that's another thing to think about. And I'm trying to get a new insurance company because I was going to bump up my coverage to 1 million baht, which really should be the bare minimum. Because 500,000 is just not enough. I mean, you have 2 surgeries, it could eat up all 500K. If you got 1 million, you know, you're a little better off, and it's not all that much. But for me, for us, with me and my kids, it doubled the premium. So I went, I've been okay. I'll be all right, and that was a mistake. Damn it. As far as the dietary plan, basically, when you don't have a gallbladder, you have a harder time processing fats. So let's say that I had a big cheesy lasagna, and I had something else, you know, maybe some ice cream afterwards, or some, you know, really a shit meal. I mean, you know, tastes good, but not really healthy, very fattening. Afterwards, I could throw up, I could feel sick, my stomach could start really grumbling, and, you know, I could get the shits, I could have a problem with my bile duct again. So I just have to basically try to keep the fat intake relatively low. And hopefully that will help. You know, one of the things I did after I got out was I went grocery shopping. And I have a lot of healthy food. And, you know, I'm going to continue to, I mean, the freezer is pretty much stocked up with fish and chicken and ground beef and pork steaks. I mean, you know, just everything. So I'll be okay for a while. I just got to watch what I eat. Now, as far as the insurance companies go, I'm going to show something right now. I don't remember if I contacted this guy or he contacted me, but let me show you guys this. Oh, thanks a lot, Tim. I gotta say that, to my surprise, not really, there were a number of people. Actually, one guy went onto my Instagram and he had a meme of me giving me shit. And there's been a couple guys, you know, like, I hope you die. Fuck you, you piece of shit, you deserve it, you fat fuck. I mean, I get messages like that. And to be completely honest, I mean, they didn't really bother me before the surgeries because I just figured I'm wasting my energy and wasting my time. But even, I mean, now it's more like I just laugh at them because, you know, like, yeah, really. Because... you know, like I told my wife, I don't think I have all that much longer to live. I was like, I think my time is limited. For some reason, I have this feeling. And then I got sick. So she was freaking out. She's like, you might die, you know. Shit. But when the doctor said to me, well, you know, probably not more than 7 days. Now, you won't last more than 7 days. I mean, I knew I wasn't going to die. I knew I was going to get the surgery. So I wasn't worried about, you know, like, oh shit, I'm going to die. If I don't get this done, I'm going to die. It wasn't anything like that. But it does make you think, you know, like, hey, if I don't get taken care of, or if I was out in the middle of nowhere and I couldn't get back and I didn't have decent insurance that would evac me out, I'd be fucked. I'd be dead. And then I started thinking about, you know, hey, what about my family? And then I started thinking to myself, you know, like, yeah, I get these messages from people, but they don't mean a fucking thing to me. So, you know, I mean, like, they can try to boot me, but I mean, what good's it doing them? It ain't doing a fucking bit of good. It doesn't do anything to me. You know, I mean, if you're on YouTube, first of all, you got to be, God damn it. if you're on YouTube, you got to develop a thick skin. And it's taken me a while. But at this point, I'm more like, you know what? I don't give a fuck about what some YouTuber says about me. Some guy on YouTube comments, or somebody on Instagram or Facebook. I mean, I still have Filipinos. I had a picture of me with a Thai fighter, who is a dirty fighter, in my opinion. When I saw him fight this one fight against my Filipino friend, he fought extremely dirty. I didn't like it. Filipinos find a picture of me with the guy on my Facebook, and they're talking all kinds of shit, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck does it matter? The fight's over. It's been over for fucking 3 years. Get over it. Get over yourself. Go back to your mama's basement or whatever. You know what I mean? So, let me show you this. I'm looking at this one insurance company, and I don't know if I can afford it, but I'm going to try to. I'm going to definitely try to do this within the next couple of days, if possible. Depends on, you know. Let's see here. Okay, let me do this PayPal donation. Where's the PayPal overlay? All right, let's get rid of that. Okay. What time is it? 10:30. Okay, so I don't know how. Let me see where my glasses are. I don't know if everybody can see this, but if you put it in full screen, you might be able to see it. This is a comparison between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 insurance companies. Okay? If you see the little blue thick line there, those are the ones that the guy recommended. This is an agent. Those are what he recommended. Now, before I got this comparison, you know, I heard that either Simon or JC or one of these guys had a thing on insurance, and they sent, and I think it was Billy, he sent me a breakdown or the link to the company or whatever, and then I got prices from the company, and that company was Pacific Cross, which is in the upper right corner. I'm trying to get rid of this little logo down here. Oh, see, I can't see. Let me see something here. Okay. Yeah, one thing that I was wondering about with Pacific Cross is can you pay monthly or quarterly? It's a little easier for me that way. And it says annual and semi-annual, which is a bit of a problem because that, well, I mean, I guess the one that they're showing right now doesn't cover all that much. I would say that this is the minimum plan for this Pacific Cross, and it's not as good as some of the other plans, even for the money. The lack of, I mean, the only reason you would get it is this particular plan is if you didn't have enough money to get the other ones. What I found for me is I've used William Russell, and it's fucking expensive. One subscriber, a guy who's now living in Thailand, he just moved here, told me that I think he got his William Russell insurance for something like $244 a month, which isn't that bad. Mine used to be around that much, but this is 15 years ago. And then it kept going up 10% a year, and I wasn't able to afford it anymore. But they are excellent. They are a very good insurance company. However, their price is way out of my price range. I don't have $560. And so I have, they have this comparison here, and I looked at it, and it seems that the David Shield is probably the best one for me. It basically covers Thailand, India, Cambodia, Vietnam, Myanmar, and Laos. However, no, age is not the main factor for me. However, it also covers you for 3 months anywhere in the world. So it's not just in Asia that it covers you. And it gives you the same coverage that you would have here in Asia. It doesn't change the amount of the coverage or anything like that. And their ceilings are very good, quite high. This one is only $2,500. The next one up, which is probably the one I would get, is $294. And that's a lot of money for me to pay for insurance, especially since we're already paying for insurance right now. And we can't get out of it until July of next year. Which is why I'm kicking myself for... No, not for a family, Bruce. That's per person. That's for a person my age, 55 years old. And the price will go up at 56 if you don't pay prior to turning 56. So I like this David Shield. Now, I'm going to show something here. Let's see if I can get this all squared away and do it here. I've got everything. I just don't know if it's going to show up real well. Okay. Yeah. All right, where's it at here? Okay. That should be... You guys should be able to see that. Okay, so here I am. Now, they have 3 plans. The essential plan is basically inpatient only, excuse me. The preferred and elite plans, they cover outpatient completely. There's no deductible. And they also cover, inpatient, of course. And you can see what their limits are. The David Shield Elite is $5 million per year. They pay for the full accommodation for a private room, which is good. The room in Waitangi just went up. They cover all the surgery. They cover organ transplant. They cover everything, and there's not... They just cover it if you pay that amount. Medicine's covered. Emergency evacuation, 50 Gs. Now, I did ask them about the pre-existing conditions, and they said, not this one because it's way too... It happened way too soon. It's too close to when you're applying. And they do direct billing, which is a good thing because I don't always have the funds to be able to cover, like a $1,000 deductible and pay, $25,000 for something and then be reimbursed. It's just I just don't have it. So for a 55-year-old male, it's $261 a month or $3,132 a year. If I had $3,000, I'd pay it right now and get that insurance and not have to worry about it. But I don't. And then for the other one, it's $400 more a year, which, it works out to $30-something more a month, which is not bad considering you get the higher coverage. And I mean, the chances of me using that, I don't know. I'm still kind of undecided about it, especially because I don't know if I can afford it. It'd be tight. There goes the spending money. But insurance is important. And that's why I say insurance should be mandatory. Because anything can happen. Now, I wanted to show this other, let me see if I can do this here. The Pacific Cross is also a good coverage. I don't want to downplay that. And it is in Thailand, which is a plus, I guess. See, now I got to do this. Shit. Let me do this one by one. Let me do this one. This is the first page. Okay, so this is the maximum. This is in baht. So the maximum for this is the Maxima plan, which is the middle plan. I would dare say that the David Shield is better than Pacific Cross. For the money, I think it's a better plan. Because I've looked at them side by side, and I think it's probably the better plan. But this Maxima, let me see here if I can read it. The maximum per disability is 5 million baht. The maximum for David Shield is $2.5 million. So there's a hell of a difference. Now they do pay 8,000 baht for a room, which is more than enough right now. My room before the discounts and everything, and not eating food because they discount like 500 baht when you don't eat, because I couldn't eat for 4 days. It's almost 4,500 baht for the room, and including the nurse and everything, which is what the nursing charge, other medical charge, maximum limit per day 8,000. So that's more than enough. It's a good insurance plan for sure. Intensive care, normal and customary charge. Organ transplant, 1 million baht, and then 1.5 million baht. Now, I don't know if that's enough. But there's a lot of these, normal and customary charges. So let me see here. What is this again? I'm at number 2. Okay, so normal. Yeah, you see here for the outpatient benefits, allowable number of visits to chiropractor, acupuncture, physiotherapist. Okay, it doesn't really matter. They cover outpatient care, emergency assistance, fully indemnified, emergency medical evac, fully indemnified, maternity, we're not worried about that. Now, you can get a discount. It's got dental down here and vision, which you can get through David Shield, but, adds a lot of cost, and you probably don't need it. Let me see here. Okay. Now, you see, you can get discounts by paying a deductible. Yeah, David Shield covers the private hospitals, yes. From what I've seen, it's an excellent plan. And I'll tell you what they do is, when you go to the doctor, there is none of this shit. They got to call. They got to approve. It's an outpatient. If I'm talking about outpatient. Before you go to the doctor, if at all possible, you call them up. You say, I need to go to the doctor for, I've got the flu. I'm sick. I'm throwing up. I need to go to the doctor. Okay. When they send you your membership card, they also send you a card that acts as a credit card. You go in, they know they know approximately how much you're going to be charged. You go in, you give the hospital your card, boom, it pays it. It's a done deal. You don't have to go through all this bullshit of, well, I'm going to get my money back. Well, I'm going to get approved. Well, you just call them up just like you would. And I guess that's okay, but if you look at the prices, first of all, you got to pay, I don't have, how much is it? What is this? Annual. Yeah, I don't have, 60,000 baht to just give them. This particular plan is cheaper than say the David Shield, the middle plan, whatever that's called, the essential or whatever the hell it's called, preferred. But the next plan up, the prices are about the same, and you get a lot more coverage from David Shield. So it really depends on what your budget is, which right now my budget is next to nil. Let me see if I got any more of these. David That's, oh yeah, there's a Pacific Cross. Okay, this is their Ultima plan, and I'm just going to go to the price right now. But you see, for a 56-year-old, it's 87,000 baht, which is still cheaper. It's still cheaper than David Shield. Now that I think about it. So, but if you get the max, what is this, Ultima Plus? It's 104,000. Now you're right about the same price as the David Shield. I think I would have to really, before I was to shell out, 253. Well, first of all, the David Cross doesn't allow a monthly payment. It's semi-annual or annual. So that's something to consider. If you got the money, it's not a big deal. I don't really have the money to pay a year. I don't have a year's worth of insurance payments to just pay somebody. I don't have that money, unfortunately. Maybe in the future, but right now I don't have it. Let me see here. Now you see this one, they do have high coverage. I mean, if I could afford it, I guess actually it looks like Pacific Cross is, in some areas, is as good or better than David Shield. And in some areas, it's very close. So maybe Pacific Cross is the way to go. I don't know. I'm going to have to really sit down and take a good close look at them both and see which one will work best for me. Which is, that's pretty much all you can do. And then hope that everything works out. I'll tell you that the agent that I was talking to, I talked to him for about 20 minutes. He said out of all the companies that he's been using, he's used this one for like 7 or 8 years, and that this one seems to be the company that is the most willing to go the extra mile for their clients, I guess. Which, that's a good thing. So. Anyway, but to me, it really gives you food for thought, because if I didn't have insurance and I didn't have the money to pay, I'd be in debt $30-something thousand. And as much as I'm bitching about my insurance company, Aetna, right now, at least they helped with the first 2 surgeries. And that knocked off a lot of the money. The last time, my wife and I had to dip into savings, she was tripping out because she thought I was going to die. She thought I was going to die the second time. Then she's like, the third time, And now she's like, if something happens again, we don't have the money to just, you're going to be in a government hospital. So I've got to try to stash that money back as quickly as possible, because if something happens, it would be nice to be able to go, okay, here's $300K. Yes, I'm not going to die, and I can get coverage quickly. I don't have to go through a whole rigmarole. So it's something to think about. But if anything else happens and I have a better insurance, I'll never have to go through this, unless it's extremely serious. Yeah, but, I mean, so is the other one. You know what I mean? Like, the David Shield is very upfront and accessible, and they are an international hospital, or international insurance company. They're not, the other one, oh, look at this. Special for you. Get free ice cream McSundae, 1 cup, or McPie from McDonald's when you accumulate, when accumulated top-up is at least 50 baht by the 10th of September. Unfortunately, I won't be eating any of that. I think both of those insurance companies are probably very good. The thing about Pacific Cross is they do have an office in Bangkok. You know what? I mean, I've said that, but you know, there's something about knowing that you ain't got to worry about it. You just go and it's taken care of. You know, we got 4 people in our family, so I'm thinking about this as I want to test it out on me, and then, you know, we'll see about the rest of the family. Because, you know, the thing is right now I'm concerned about me because I'm older. But, you know, I got to think about my kids. And, you know, I don't want them to be underinsured. So, I mean, yeah, you're right. And it might be smart to not do that. But, you know, like, Jesus, I got to listen to my wife every time. She'll be like, you have insurance, just go to the hospital. I'm like, honey, they don't cover this because it's an inpatient, it's an outpatient treatment. Yeah, but get them to keep you overnight. Tell them you want. I'm like, Jesus Christ, the insurance company's not that stupid. You know, and she'll be like, well, what do we have insurance for? In case we have to go into the hospital. I don't know if it's William Russell is the best, but I had them for a couple of years. And they were very, very good, and they did fight for me. There was a couple of times where the hospital would go, oh, you need to pay and we'll reimburse you. And I'm like, fuck you. I'm not paying shit. That's why I got my insurance company. You know, I owed them like $800 or $1,000, and they were like, oh, just pay it. I'm like, no, I got my insurance company. And then they were going, well, I'm sorry, but you need to pay. And I'm like, no, I don't. My insurance company has already guaranteed this. So I had to call my insurance company. My insurance company got on the phone with the lady and told her, no, he's not paying you one satang. So they did fight for me. I remember that pretty vividly. And they're very good, but they're expensive. And I would just check I'll put a link to that comparison that I have. And, you know, I've got let me see here. Let me put this up real quick, if I can. Let's see here. Insurance. Okay. This is the information for Pacific Cross. If you want to call them, take the number down. I'll try to put it down in the description, a link to it down in the description. Okay, that's for Pacific Cross. And let me see if I can do something else here. And then let me get this one. And that's the information for Pacific Prime, this Pacific Cross. Oh, yeah. That Aetna, man, I mean, I will say this about Aetna. They were downright, I mean, I didn't start off rude with them. But I asked them, I said, listen, I'm not happy with the fact that you guys just say, well, our doctors believe that these are related cases. And I said, well, my doctor doesn't believe that. And in fact, his professors and his doctors around him don't believe that this is a related case. It's the same system, and that's why the insurance company denied me. But when I said to them, I want to dispute this, who do I need to speak to? Oh, you don't need to dispute it. I said, yes, I do. No, we go by all Thai laws, and he started giving me all this bullshit. And I said, listen, I don't care. Your doctors work for you. My doctor doesn't work for me. He works for the hospital. So you know, I had to give him a bit of a tood. I had to give him a bit of a toot at the end, and then, you know, the guy was just like, "Oh, we'll send it before a review board." And I said, "Okay, that's fine. Let me know what happens, you know, blah, blah, blah." And, of course, they did the exact same thing. They just said, you know. Yeah, well, see, here's the thing. Is insurance cheaper here? If you want insurance that is going to be like Thai coverage, well, yeah, it's going to be cheaper. I mean, our coverage is about 4,000 baht for me and my 2 kids. But the ceiling is 500,000 baht. That's it. That's all they'll pay. That's shit. That's really not much, believe me. Because all I did was had the first 2 surgeries. All I had left for the 3rd surgery was 7,500 baht. So I ran up a 400 and almost a 500,000 baht bill from the first 2 surgeries. So at least if you're going to have like a Thai insurance or Aetna or something like that, I think you should have at least 1,000,000 baht coverage. And I'm kicking myself for not bumping it up because I would have been okay. Instead, it's, how much did I say? 33 plus 3,033 plus this last time was how much? All but 70, so say 200, so say 66. Yeah, 10 G's. Instead of, say, 4,000 or 4,500, which if I had 1,000,000 baht, that's what I would have paid. Instead, it's closer to $10,000. And I have to go in 2 days to the doctor again and get my blood checked. There's another 150 bucks. Okay? Insurance doesn't cover it. It should scare you. It scares the shit out of me now because here I was thinking, oh, I'll just fly to the VA if something serious happens. But what happens if you can't? You know, one guy wrote me and he goes, oh, you know, you should have taken advantage of the VA and you should have done this. And I'm like, wait a minute. If I could have went to the VA, I would have went. As much as I don't want to fly home. If you feel like shit and you've got a serious condition, you may not be able to fly. You're fucked. You got to get coverage right there, or you're going to have to take a helicopter to some neighboring country. So, you know, this has changed my thinking. I mean, the last time that I had what the fuck are these people? They sit in front of my house and just shoot the shit. La la la. Sit on their motorcycles, waiting for somebody. God damn it. Oh, fucking asshole next door. We got a neighbor that just moved in. He doesn't even live there. He's the contractor. He's the one who always parks his car in front of my house. He's always talking loud. He put in a pipe that from the kitchen or the bathroom that extended over into our property so that it would smell on our property, not on their property. So I've had to like check him every time and I had to tell him, dude, knock that off or I'm going to knock it off right now. You better take it out. That wasn't a contractor, or that was a different person. That guy's never coming back in my house. I know exactly who it is, and he's with his wife. His wife does all the, you know, she picks up after him and stuff like that. Anyway, $45. Wait a minute. He said $45 a week. Lori, that's $180 Oz, which is what in dollars? That's not that cheap. Can you hear this guy? You just got to grin and bear it. If I lived out in the middle of nowhere somewhere, then you know I wouldn't have to deal with it, but I do. So anyway, I don't think I'm going to be going anywhere for the next couple of weeks. Basically, the farthest I've gone is the mall. Shut up! Fuck. Grin and bear it. Yeah, health insurance is one big racket. Now, I got to say something else. Man, the taxi drivers in Bangkok, it just seems like they are sinking lower and lower and lower and getting worse and worse and worse. And I don't know if it's because, you know, they're not making enough money or they don't think they're making enough money. I don't know what it is. But yeah, day before yesterday, or what's today? Today's Tuesday. Yesterday, I was coming from the hospital, and I walk out, and I see a taxi. The taxi pulls up. He's got his light on. I start to open the back door. The back door is locked. So he rolls down the window. I'm like, unlock the door. Where are you going? I'm going to the fucking Mall Bangkok. You know, right down the street. Are you able to take? Boom, he drives off. He just drives away. He doesn't want to take me. I'm like, okay, whatever. The next guy comes. He shows the same thing, that he's available. He rolls down his window. I get in. I'm like, fuck this, man. If, you know, I don't give a shit what if they like it or not. If they're available, they need to take you. They can't just pick and choose their fucking customers. That's not, you know, it's the law. And I'm sick of this bullshit. And so the guy goes, where are you going? I said, I'm going to the Mall Bangkok. Can you take me there? Or is that too far for you? Why didn't you tell me where you were going before you got in? And I went, oh, fuck me. Why do I have to answer this bullshit? You want to take me? I still told him, you want to take me? Yes or no? Oh, okay. But they're getting like that. And then I was at the mall a couple days ago. Like right when I got out of the hospital, I had to go and get money or something. Go to the ATM. I think I was getting groceries. They have the place where you get your taxi right in front of the mall. There's a queue. I go in. I get in. I tell the guy, go to Happyland. No, I don't want to go. I go, it's right here. It's 5 minutes away. You don't want to go to Happyland? No, I don't want to go. Fuck me. I get out. The guy goes, what's the matter? I go, the fucking guy doesn't want to take me. He doesn't want to go 5 minutes away from here. You know, so they need to implement some kind of program or they need to put some kind of device in the cars or something that stops these assholes from being this way. Because it's getting to, and if they're doing it to me, I can only imagine what the tourists are going through. And, you know, that's why I don't feel a fucking thing. I'm completely numb to when they whine and cry about the prices that they get and all this other kind of shit. You know what? If anytime I can, I'll take a grab taxi. You know? No, I think Jared's price is normal. Normal. I just don't think it's cheap. And it also depends on how much coverage he has. So Um, yeah, like I said, I don't think I'm going to be going very. The farthest I've gone is well, I've gone to the hospital and I've gone to the mall. I go to the mall, I get groceries, I take out money if I have to, and maybe I get something to eat. And I have to be very careful of what I eat. One thing I'm wondering, I don't know if anybody knows this, but, you know, sushi and sashimi is generally the fat in the fish is a good fat. But I'm wondering about eel, how fatty it is and if it'll affect me, you know. So I may have to take a little trial run and eat a couple pieces of eel or something in the next couple of weeks. The You Hunt We Cook, as good as it is and as flexible as it is, they're changing their menu finally because, you know, I mean, it gets a bit boring after a while. My creativity when it comes to food is somewhat limited. The courage? How did you get that out of coverage? Oh. Yeah, I love eel. I just don't want to cause it. So far, no food has caused me any hassle. No food has really caused me a lot of grief with my stomach, but yeah, I mean, you know, first of all, the taxi drivers that want to go off meter, fuck them. Anytime they say that to me, I go, nah, fucking turn on the meter or I'm out of here. Adios, buddy. If they go, 200 baht, 300 baht, now fuck off. Just leave me the fuck alone. I don't even want to deal with you. And, you know, I was just thinking the other day, I was like, Jesus Christ, I really don't want to get a car because first, I don't have the money, especially now. But then I think to myself, Jesus Christ, I don't want to deal with these fucking assholes all my life. I can't see myself being, you know, 68 years old, bitching at some taxi driver because he doesn't want to drive me fucking down the street. You know what I mean? Like, hey, dude, it's going to take you 5 minutes and you're going to make 60 baht. It's now open enrollment? For what? Your insurance? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, I remember, Lori. They're fucking cocksuckers, man. You know, I mean, like, I don't even want to say what I want to do sometimes to them. Because, you know, like, the second guy yesterday, he was just a little guy, you know, a little old, kind of older guy. But he was giving me shit, and I'm like, dude, don't you understand? I'm your future customer. White boys, white girls, black guys, black girls, Thais, everybody. They are your future customer. Treat them decently, and they will want to ride in your taxi. Don't do it, and they're going to be going to grab taxi. Monthly, you pay that much? You pay $1,131? Holy shit. Yeah, but they don't give a fuck what's legal or not. They don't care. I mean, you know, very few of them are like going, oh my God, I just broke a law. I told you I smacked the guy once. He smacked me, I punched him. And then I got out and I walked away and then he wanted to come at me with a machete and I was like, Jesus Christ. These fucking guys, you know? I mean, it's like, hey, all I want you to do is take me from point A to point B, motherfucker. Turn on the fucking meter. That's why the law says you need to turn on the meter. It doesn't say, well, let's negotiate whatever the fuck you want. And then when I hear these fucking foreigners go, well, you know, if he doesn't want to go, he shouldn't have to. Oh, fuck you. Then don't drive the taxi, bitch. If you don't want to go, I told the guy yesterday, hey, buddy, if you don't want to take me down to the mall, it's 5 minutes away, not even that. If you don't want to take me to the mall, what the fuck are you driving a taxi for? Go find another job. He goes, oh, I'm rich. I just like driving a taxi. I go, yeah, sure you are. You fuck. That's why you're wearing your little 39-baht pair of fucking flip-flops. Wow. That's fucking good, man. I mean, listen. If I can get both my kids and myself insured, you know, like for about 350 bucks, 400 bucks a month, you know, I got to find a way to make the money to be able to do it because I want them to be covered. I don't want to have to worry about, oh, something happened. Oh, shit, I can't cover it. He might die. I don't want to have to worry about that. You know, or I have a heart attack and it's like, oh, sorry, you're maxed out at 500,000 baht. Your heart attack is going to run you, that's going to be 1,000,000 baht right there. We need a deposit. Whatever hospital it is. This is not just a weight anything, so I don't mean to pick on them. Because I've been in Bumrungrad and they've been cunts to me also. You know, they pushed me on things and I've been like, wait a minute. You're charging me how much for a fucking aspirin? You know. Yeah, that's another thing is the cancer. Because, you know, like, I think I'm at a higher risk for bile duct cancer now. I'm always worrying about the prostate cancer. Whew. You know, and if your insurance doesn't cover it or it's very low, the coverage is very low, then what? You know what I mean? Listen, I just saw this thing on Netflix called The Bleeding Edge. It's about new equipment and new procedures and stuff that come out, and they're not really tested all that well by the FDA. You would think that they are, but for whatever reason, they're not. And then, for instance, they had this permanent birth control that they had to insert this little spring thing inside of the fallopian tube of the woman. And then what it would do is it would make the fallopian tube grow around it and it would shut. And then they wouldn't be able to get pregnant. What happened, though, was the women started having all kinds of major problems. And, of course, the companies manufacturing this stuff will never admit to it. So it's a pain, and they got huge numbers of lawyers, and so, you know, the people just get fucked. So, you know, the whole medical industry, it pays to really be careful. You know, and like for me, I didn't know what they were sticking in me. I thought that the stent, honestly, I thought it was like, let me see if I can find something. Basically, I thought it was like a little piece of plastic, just like this. And the tube is here, and it runs this way. And the stent is like this, and it just holds it open. I don't know why I didn't think anything else. I was thinking of like a heart stent or something. But that's not what it was at all. It was like another tube. It was another straw inside. It was a straw inside of a straw. So, you know, I mean, like, I learned a lot from this last one. No, my ass is not still sore. But my pride is the fact that that thing came out of my bunghole. I don't think I'll ever get over that. The shock. The trauma. I got PTSD from that. Seriously. Because I was like, why is my... I'll be completely honest. I was laying there in bed, and I got this pain medicine in me, and I'm thinking, you know, like, oh, I really want to go to sleep. I just want to sleep really good. And I'm like, God, my asshole hurts. I'm like, man, it hurts, you know? And I'm like, what the fuck? And then I felt like, kind of like maybe I had like a wet fart or something. I was like, man, something doesn't feel right. And so finally I was like, man, I got to see what's going on. I thought I had a hemorrhoid or something. God damn it, these fucking people. Fucking God. Jesus Christ. oh, we'll just park in front of your house because we want to eat across the street. Neighbor. Yeah, I've been traumatized. I've been traumatized by it. It's you know, I felt like, oh, something really hurts. I got to go check it out. I'm like, do I have like a hemorrhoid or something? I'm like, did this surgery do something to me? And so I go into the restroom, and then, you know, like I said, I kind of reached back, and I was like, what the fuck? I was like, oh, what is this? And then I pulled it out, and of course, you know, I had a little stink finger, and I'm like rinsing the thing off in the shower, you know, to make sure it was as clean as possible. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then I'm like, that's the stent. I'm like, there's no, how did they get that in my bile duct? Because I thought the bile duct was like just slightly curved. I haven't had to worry about the kidney stones. But, you know, I wish I had that picture. They gave me, once they discharged me, they gave me a whole lot of papers and everything. And they showed me the inside of my bile duct, and they showed all the stones. And it was like, there must have been 100 stones in there. I'm like, is that normal? No, it's not normal. No, it didn't go in that way. I knew that. But, you know, what I'm wondering is, well, how did they get it out if they're doing surgery to pull it out? You know? Because the way that it came out didn't seem user-friendly. So anyway, let's see. What is it? Today's Tuesday. It's 11:20. I got about 10 minutes left here. That's it. I think probably for the rest of this week and next week, I'm probably not going to go anywhere. I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to go anywhere far for sure. No trips. I got to try to get my energy together, but I do want to do some stuff in Thailand, and hopefully it won't be taxing on my body. I'll be able to regain my strength and be able to go out and do some stuff, because once I came out of surgery, I really didn't want to. I didn't want to do shit, man, and I still don't really feel like going anywhere or expending all that energy. You know, when you go and you take a trip, even in Thailand, if you're going to go from, let's say, Bangkok to Sukhothai, or you're going to go down the river or something like that, you know, you still got to deal with everything going on outside. And I didn't really want to, I really don't want to deal with that. But I think in another week or so, I should be okay. And we'll go to Klang Tui. That's fine. That's you know, a couple of weeks, 2 weeks away, so I'll be all right, hopefully. And you know, that's not a hell of a lot of walking. You know, I mean, Klang Tui is not all that big. But you know, the 5-hour walks, the 5-mile, 10-mile walks might take me a while to get back to that. But I do want to go back to Myanmar. I'm actually thinking now that I'd like to go to Nepal again. Let me see something here. I have a free trip in Thailand right now on Thai Airways because of my credit card. Okay, woo, yeah, baby. I got 44,792 points on my American Express card. I only need about 208 more. I'll have 45,000, which gives me 30,000 miles on Thai Air. And that's enough for like I think it's enough for an economy flight to just about anywhere in Asia, or a business class flight in Thailand. So if I can wait a little bit longer, maybe I'll be able to go to Europe or something. I don't know. You know, it all depends on how many points I rack up, and the only reason that I rack the points up is because I paid the hospital bill with this. Yeah, I know. So, you know, I mean, but I could get premium economy. There's all kinds of ways I could go, you know. But I'd really like to go somewhere different. You know, Myanmar is nice and everything, but I'd like to go somewhere different. Tibet. I'd like to go to Nepal again and get out of Kathmandu. So now I'm starting to think about these things. Africa. India, maybe. Actually, that is a... let me see something here. Thai Air... Oops. Airways. Redeeming... Okay. 35,000 miles is an economy round-trip ticket to New Delhi, Mumbai, Shanghai, Manila, Jakarta, Hong Kong. Yeah, so, I mean, Kathmandu. So all I need is another 5,000 miles, which is 7,500 points, which is times 20. Well, that's quite a bit, but what is 7,500 points? I thought it was 1 point per 20 baht. So that's quite a bit of money, actually. Varanasi, yeah. Rajasthan. I'd actually like to go where the majority of the tigers are. But right now I got to remember that I need to stick to street photography and not try to get too crazy, because it's about all I can do right now. Which, by the way, a week in Starbucks. Listen, I'm so sick of Starbucks and their prices and their shitty food. No offense to Starbucks intended, but you know, they need to start having some really healthy, filling food that's a better value for the dollar, because it's not a good value. And this is the first year that I didn't make the gold. I won't have the gold card from Starbucks, because I just have said, fuck it, I don't want to come anymore. And you know, I'll get a coffee once in a while, I'll get a little cookie or something once in a while, but it's mainly because I got groceries and I can't carry them across the street because there's too many groceries or whatever. Fuck green tea cake, man. I don't care about that. I have a free drink with them right now. It's like one of their special kind of drinks. Their foamy tea kind of thingy. And I don't care. I don't want it. It's not that, doesn't mean that much to me. India sounds good, but I do still have a trip to Africa, but I got to get healthy. I have to be healthy. And I have to make some money. So, there should be, for you Americans, there should be a t-shirt thing down below the video. T-shirts, cups. I'm going to I'm going to take another look at everything again to see exactly what I have, because I need to make another batch of, I want to make a new logo. And I want to make a logo of it like I could put on a glass or a coffee cup and people will buy it. Or on a t-shirt or something like that, you know. Because I'm not happy with what I got now, which is basically nothing. So there's that, the one down below. There's also an AmericanInThailand.com. There's my prints, which I've been working on. Laura, you told me about the iAuthors. I've been looking at it. I don't know what I can do with it, if I can put together something halfway decent. But if I can, I'll get something printed out from that. What else? That's enough for now. Now I have a little time to write, so like I said yesterday was the first day where I really felt like, hey, I'm starting to feel good again. So I'll probably start writing again very soon. Hey, by the way, October 6th, McGregor against Khabib. Anybody got any predictions? Because I believe in the Mallon household we'll be watching that. I'm looking forward to that fight. And I don't look forward to too many fights, but I want to see it. I want to see what happens. You like McGregor. I think if McGregor hits him right, he's gonna knock him spark out. But if he misses, and Khabib gets a hold of him, I don't know that McGregor has what it takes to beat him on the ground, because this is a guy who's been wrestling all his life. He's an elite wrestler. He's one of the best wrestlers in the world. So I think it's a good fight, and you know, I want to see it. Hopefully I will. Yeah, but I'm not worried about that. All I'm worried about is when they get in the ring. That's all I give a shit about. They're grown men. He's a grown man. He's got to deal with that shit himself. You know, he's a bit of a knucklehead, but then, you know, a lot of fighters are. You don't get in a ring and start beating the shit out of each other and, you know, you're completely 100% normal. Most guys aren't. They got a little switch, or they got something wrong with them, or whatever it is. But I think it's a good fight, and just to see what happens, I think it's good. I'll be surprised if McGregor knocks him flat out and he just destroys him. I'll be extremely surprised, but it could happen. I won't be surprised if Khabib grounds and pounds him and beats his ass. I won't be that surprised. I don't know what the odds are, but I don't know. I got to look at the fight a little bit closer. I just saw the press conference the other day, and you know, that's why I like to watch the fights. I want to see how it unfolds. But, you know, the other thing that people haven't been talking about is that McGregor hasn't had a fight in 2 years. And even though he's been in the gym, it's not the same. Even for him. He hasn't been in the ring to fight. And been under that pressure where this guy's coming. I don't think he really gives a shit. He's so crazy. He's just like, fuck it, I don't care who they put in front of me. But should be good. Should be good. So anyway, that's all I got. I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna try to in the next couple of hours. I'll put up the link in the description to the to these insurance companies, or one is an agent and one is the company. Maybe I'll do it before I have lunch, but maybe that's all I got. So I appreciate everybody joining me. I'm glad I feel better. We'll see who gasses out. I think that the whole thing about Conor McGregor gassing out is a crock of shit. To be completely honest. Well, I'm skinnier than I've been in a long time, but I need to get fit again, and I don't think boxing will be the way I can do it. Just because I don't think my body can handle it anymore. At least it can't handle the impact, you know? So, thanks, Bruce. So anyway, I don't know when I'll be back. Maybe Friday, maybe Sunday. But until next time. Yeah. Okay. He gasses out. He went what, 9 rounds with Mayweather? You know, there's a reason why he did. So, anyway, let me see if I can do this here. Sky Trooper, thanks. Yeah, low impact is the way to go. I hope so. All right. Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it. Let me see here. What is this? I'm trying to find something mellow. I don't know about this, but anyway. No rain. No rain here.